Greetings loyal subscribers and honoured guests. Welcome back to Covertape Chaos Zzapped, where we have reached episode 7 this week. After the last tape, which came with issue 50 of the magazine, there wasn't another tape until issue 61. I expect readers of the magazine had pretty much given up any hope that the tapes would return, so they would have been thrilled with this one. If you were a fan of either shoot-em-ups or excellent loading music, then Zzapped really had you covered this time. I wasn't especially looking forward to making this episode before I started working on it, but to my surprise, this has become one of my favourite tapes so far. So let's get on with examining the two games, shall we? First up we have Sanxion, designed and coded by Stavros Fasoulis, with graphics by him and assistance from Matt Sneap. The game was published by Thalamus and was one of their early hits, being beloved by many. I have to say I wasn't one of them though, as this is the first time I've actually played it. I was aware of the loading theme though, as it is simply one of those legendary synth tunes that still sounds amazing today. After spending some time with the game, I have to say I really like it. It has a real pick up and play arcade feel to it, so you can get stuck in straight away and understand what's going on within seconds. While I'm still getting used to the game, I am playing through the stages quite slowly, so I'm not earning any speed bonuses at all. I did try blasting through stage 1 as fast as I could one time, but that very quickly led to a game over, so I won't be trying that again for a while. While I don't think the graphics are particularly great, I do like the animation on the player ship and some of the enemies in later stages. Some of them don't really have any animation at all to them though. Given a choice of a fast moving responsive game versus a visually attractive but sluggish one, I would choose the former every time though, so the rather simple visuals do not diminish the fun factor of Sanxion very much for me. If this had been a classic arcade machine, I would have happily thrown in my 10p's for some blasting fun back in the day. As it is, now that I've finally got around to playing the game, I'm going to be coming back to it in an attempt to improve my skills and actually see beyond stage 2. Let's take a look at what the Zzapped reviewers thought of it at the time. Julian Rignall wasn't totally blown away by the game, but he did enjoy it, saying, "This isn't the best thing since sliced bread, but it's certainly a damn tasty uncut loaf." I got the feeling that Richard Eddy liked the game slightly more than Julian, saying, "Sanxion is a dream to both watch and play. I think it's ace." They awarded the game an overall score of 93% and said, "One of the year's better blasts." Before I move on to the other game this episode, let's take a few moments to enjoy a quick blast of that Rob Hubbard loading tune, shall we? So now it's time to move on to side 2, which is the home of Mutants. This one was developed by Denton Designs and published by Ocean Software. Once again it features some absolutely legendary tunes, this time composed by Fred Gray. Mutants is a rather more complicated game than Sanxion, and as a result it will take longer to become acclimated to it. You have been given the task of raiding the premises of a dodgy corporation that has been developing bioweapons for potential use against their enemies. You have to pilot your craft through the pens that contain these lethal creatures, find the self-destruct module within, and then leave before you are killed. After that, you can either head into another mutant pen and repeat the process, or you can head to the central area, whereupon you have to navigate a maze and drop off the destruct modules. This maze isn't particularly complicated, but the inertia of your craft takes some getting used to. Try and move around too fast and you'll end up careening into a wall and losing one of your 3 lives. Controlling your ship is definitely the biggest challenge in Mutants. I found it a bit frustrating, but I may start to get the hang of it with a bit of practice. Another element that can be a bit frustrating is knowing which weapon to take in to which pen with you, because you have a few different options and some of them may not be effective at all against a particular enemy. There's quite a lot of trial and error and then memorisation required to make progress in Mutants, it would seem. Ultimately, I preferred the pick up and play style of Sanxion over Mutants, though given time, maybe I will appreciate the added depth that Mutants has more. Let's head back to the Zzapped reviewers again and see what they thought. This time Julian really loved the game, stating, "An essential purchase. Miss it and you're missing something special." Meanwhile, Gary Penn did like the game, but he wasn't sure about its lasting appeal, saying, "I found this rather addictive, for a few hours anyway. But I wasn't captivated for much longer, and subsequent plays failed to fire my enthusiasm." They summed up by giving the game a score of 90% overall and said, "A new and exciting concept which should interest shoot-'em-up fans." Before I wrap things up, let's enjoy a little bit more of the Mutants music without me talking all over it. So that brings episode 7 to a close, and as I said earlier, this has become one of my favourites to date. I'll definitely be playing a lot more of Sanxion, and I want to see if I can get the hang of Mutants a bit more as well. If you enjoyed this episode, then please consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, commenting and sharing on social media. I'll be back with episode 8 in 2 weeks' time, so I'll see you for that. In the meantime, take care.